this incel mentality of like, oh, I worked out so much and I'm in love with this girl who's dating another guy and she doesn't leave this man who can't even bench as much as I can for me on the basis of me being more male and masculine as them. It's a bad mindset. I saw this on my feed. This fear is ruining male friendships. Posted on the Great Company podcast. As a trans woman, I think I should give my take on men and their friendships. I think I'm actually in a position where I'm like, I know both sides. I know how much happier I am now with my current friendships. Obviously, as a trans woman, I wasn't allowed to be my authentic self, but I feel like a lot of men aren't allowed to be their authentic self either. You know, even if it's just about like them not being able to show vulnerability, them not being able to form meaningful relationships with each other. You know, most of the time when it comes to like homosociality, where it's like if someone is being misogynistic, if the group is being misogynistic, a lot of men are inclined to also be misogynistic in order to like fit in and belong, even if they don't agree with it. That is a problem. I saw this clip and I thought I could give my take on it.
There is such a fear in male friendships of homosexuality. Almost all women I know, if they go traveling with a girlfriend, they'll share a bed. Nothing of it. How many men do you know who would do that? Not very many. I think we're picking up a much larger theme, which is a kind of sexual anxiety that inhibits the development of a good friendship. The reason why male friendships are on the whole really quite dull, especially heterosexual friendships, you've got two people who are putting up a front, terrified of what might happen if that front disappears. And therefore, what's the topic? I mean, bless football. It's a really important topic. It has its role, but it's having an outsized role in many male friendships. What about these other topics? What about the topic, I can't cope, I'm lost, I've got erectile dysfunctions, my liver's giving me trouble, I'm drinking too much. All of these things which are actually on everybody's plate, but you can't broach them. Being a man is a tricky thing. All men have come from a place where the default position was to be a girl.
Explain that to me.
I don't agree with this, but I'm simply observing. Masculinity is an achievement that a little boy gradually moves towards, and that's why the taunt in the schoolyard is always "you're a girl" or "you're a mummy's boy."
You have to discover masculinity almost,
which is why heterosexual men don't share a bedroom with another man, because there's a thought.
The thing is, like, it also comes like from misogyny, right? Because like femininity is seen as something inferior. With homosociality, it's like you want to appeal to other men, right? Like the social hierarchy works that like the alpha man, the manly man, the masculine man is on top of the hierarchy, and everybody else, every man needs to appeal to this alpha man. It's kind of what you see in like these incel circles, in these red pill circles, right? Nobody is trying to appeal to women and actually, be themselves and be attractive to other women when it comes to like personality and someone being a free spirit and being themselves and finding a partner, having an emotional relationship with someone, a genuine like friendship with their partner. It's not about that. It's just about like appealing to the masculine man and doing what they kind of value, right? The high value man, like going to the gym and appealing to other men there, right? That's always what you see when there are people with a lot of muscles, right? Being like, oh, I go to the gym 12 hours every single day. I work out. I'm hot. I have a lot of money. I still can't get a girlfriend, right? I spent 14 years of bodybuilding to look like this. The girl I'm in love with is dating a guy who can't bench 135 pounds. He's not even rich. Okay, you're in love with someone who's taken, move on, dude. But also being like, okay, so your only personality trait is that you have muscles. It's kind of sad, honestly, right? And also like, this is not appealing. This is not attractive for the majority of women. This looks like an unhealthy, deformed amount. This looks like a bad Photoshop right now. But it is something that other men, especially other gym bros, are going to like hype you up for. It pushes the idea that if you appeal to the masculine man and you're on top of this social hierarchy, then you are basically entitled to women. You're entitled to the inferior femininity, right? Why are we naked in a parking lot?
Yeah, bro. Just take off your shirt. Let me see your muscles, bro. Yeah, it's going to be like so hot, right? I'm just going to like take a picture, show your car.
The male fantasy is so gay, real. I mean, I'm a man and I find this repulsive. I mean, you know, this is just like in the circle. I watched a few TikToks from people who used to be like bodybuilders and so on. And so on. There's a lot of body dysmorphia in these circles. A lot of people who are like really insecure to like an unhealthy amount. You know, when you see like podcasts of gym bros being like, oh, anytime I'm hungry, I just drink water. I just drink so much water, and then like I'm no longer hungry. I'm no longer hungry, and it's like your body is craving food right now. You're starving yourself. You don't need to have muscles when you have a personality. You don't need to be rich when you have a personality. When you make someone laugh. When you're fun to hang out with. You know, when you treat someone nicely. And you're like genuine and authentic instead of just like playing this weird game of just like appealing to other men. Can you imagine if in nature, you know, the birds that are getting laid are the ones, you know, just like appealing to other male birds? The females are like being auctioned off to the one that appeals to the male birds. It doesn't make sense. But somehow for humanity, this is like ingrained into everyone. And then like the other problem is that these incels and so on listen to the alpha men telling them that all women are fake anyway. All women want this, right? This is what you need to do in order to attract a woman. And it's just like manipulative, right? Oh, you can't be honest on the first date. You gotta like say the things that she wants to hear, even if you don't mean it. And then people wonder why like relationships are failing. It's because like she found out that you're a garbage person. You know, the mask eventually dropped. I'm a demigirl and I like working out to be slim and thin. I'm also ace, but I also kind of like femboy sometimes. Don't get me wrong, working out, doing something healthy is good, right? You should do that. I should do that more often. But there's just like a level where it's like, okay, if you skip one day at the gym and your muscles are starting to deflate and look wobbly and weird, you got a problem. No hate on this person here. I'm just using that as an example. And I think like this incel mentality of like, oh, I worked out so much and I'm in love with this girl who's dating another guy and she doesn't leave this man who can't even bench as much as I can for me on the basis of me being more male and masculine as them. It's a bad mindset. This is obviously ruining male friendships because when you are in this world where you have to be hyper masculine, you don't want to lose your social standing, right? When you're like around other guys, you don't want to lose your place in the social hierarchy by, I don't know, showing affection to another man, by being accidentally perceived as gay because you hug another man. Women can do that, and that is like why female friendships are so much better, right? Since I started transitioning and I'm no longer like in this weird place where everybody has to be like, you know, hyper masculine because like, oh, the worst thing that could happen is being called a girl. I have better friendships. I have more authentic friendships. I have healthier bonds, and I have actually the ability to talk to people, you know, talk about things that are going on in my life without the fear of not actually being masculine enough. Women cliques seem to constantly sabotage other women getting into relationships. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some women, like the mean girls type of situation, they suck. Right? It's also like this weird, you know, social hierarchy type of bullshit going on. Oh, you have to appeal to the popular girl, otherwise you're going to get bullied. That exists, right? As a VTuber, I experienced that over and over again. I see all the petty drama. I experience the petty drama. Transphobia and transmisogyny and so on. That also plays a role. But if you are able to find like genuine relationships, if you are your authentic self and you're attracting like other good people who are not playing the same game, you're able to have like a healthy bond. I'm not saying that like, oh, become girl and now everything is perfect. You don't have a girlfriend, become the girl and everything is going to be nice. I mean, obviously like transphobia is like a big problem. I don't have the cis girl experience, right? I have girl experience, I have trans girl experience. I do not have cis girl experience. But yeah, like the anxiety that comes from like, oh, I don't want to do this thing because I might be perceived as feminine and then I'm going to get kicked out of this social circle or I'm going to get bullied for it. So I have to like overperform. It is really destructive. I think the point that is like being missed in the snippet here is that it is all like social hierarchy things based on the patriarchy. Being gay is considered feminine and femininity is inferior. You have negative experiences if you do not play the game. I always use the example with like the firefighters. It is kind of designed to have like a male dominated field through like the tests, and when women actually do pass and they do qualify, they're still being treated as inferior, as lesser. If men stand up for them, then they're going to get the same treatment. You know, you're either with us or against us. You stand up to us, so you're going to get punished for it. And this happens all the time. And I think this is the same logic with like transphobia. Why are they hyper focusing on trans women? Because we are quote unquote men no longer being on the same side as the masculine manly men. So we are going to get harassed for it. I was being called a girl my entire life until I came out as one. Now I'm being told how my my gender, how my masculinity, how my manliness in my voice will always persist because I'm a manly man with manly man DNA and chromosomes. Every atom of my body is male, and therefore I will always be more masculine than others. You know, if I was literally just a cis guy, you would bet that people constantly would tell me that I sound like a woman. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about when it comes to these friendships. I kind of derailed a little bit, but I think it's an important subject, and I thought that this clip kind of misses a little bit of like what causes this fear, what creates this game that traps everyone and makes them unhappy. Me, a woman, obviously needs to explain to men how their friendships work. Some fox girl on the internet has to tell men what is going on. It's nice to see them at least trying to think about it. I mean, yeah, of course, like the observation is true. It is just like missing a core part of like what is responsible for it. The problem of like male friendships in the sense of being perceived as gay and so on is just a symptom of like the patriarchy. And the patriarchy creates a lot of problems. It creates the game. It creates the social hierarchy. You know, the male loneliness, for example, the general loneliness in everyone, the need for companionship, but being offered AI, being exploited. That is just all a symptom of the patriarchy. I agree they missed the mark, but if they keep actually trying, they can get there. I don't expect them to try anymore. This is just a small little segment, right? Maybe there's more. I just saw this part and I was like, I think I could add more context to it. Maybe I could like expand on this a little bit more. I'm glad that there are people, that there are men who are calling these things out. I'm super happy. That's kind of like why I reposted it. That's why I saved it. That's why I wanted to talk about it. In this current day and age, there are a lot of misogynistic men being role models to other young men. It's really toxic and creates so many problems, not just for men, also for women, obviously. But yeah, I think it's always important to, you know, also have men say these things, but I think it is very beneficial for men to also explain where this comes from, where this game comes from, where this fear of being perceived as feminine comes from.
Everybody